Oh, my 94.3 the ox line. There it is. I'm gonna wiggle that thing every once in a while. Couldn't even hear myself. It's JD Campbell and Trigger's Dreams on the Ox. Time now for Coffee Talk, brought to you by the Comanche Chamber of Commerce and Agriculture. Check them out at #Explore Comanche, Texas. As we welcome into the studio, Cynthia Newton with Hope Counseling. How we doing?
I'm doing well. I just don't want another winter storm.
Yeah, I had enough already.
I've had enough, man. You know, last year was awful. This year was awful. And
it was awful enough, wasn't it? Wasn't quite as bad as last year, but
it wasn't quite as bad. But you know
when
what?
You got
when
critters
you're on,
like
when you're
cows,
on a farm,
yeah, it's just as bad.
It's just as bad.
Right. No kidding.
So yeah, it's called Back to Reality again, and you know, bring on spring.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this morning we're going to talk about rebuilding trust in relationships. I know that I want to kind of talk a little bit first about what I've got coming up next Monday.
Yeah.
Wow.
You knocked the fan down with that.
Yeah, I scared the fan.
Riveting news.
Next Monday is Valentine's Day. Did you know that?
Oh, man. Yeah, I was supposed to know that.
Yeah, you might want to know that.
Okay.
But anyway, so I'm actually going to be talking about Valentine's Day, but I'm actually going to be talking about Valentine's Day depression next Monday.
That happens. Yeah.
So, you know, tune in. It's not always about the cupids and the hearts and, you know, all of that, and it really may be affecting you if you're not in a relationship or, you know, you're trying or anything like that. So just be aware that I'm going to be talking about that next Monday.
Okay.
And then I'm going to be talking about, I'd had a special request for somebody that had asked me specifically to talk about bullying and the effects of that. So that's going to be coming up in 2 weeks.
All right.
I actually have it lined out. That's amazing.
Planned
You should be impressed.
I am amazed.
Good, because I am too. So we've got those things coming up. So today, though, we're going to talk about rebuilding trust in relationship, which is really kind of good to look at this, especially on the heels of Valentine's Day, you know, and you're looking at, okay, Valentine's Day is coming up and everything as well. Trust is huge. Trust is something that is easily broken, but is difficult to rebuild.
Yep.
I mean, it's something that, you know, we have to have trust not only in an intimate partner relationship, but with our children, our parents, our, you know, co-workers. I mean, you look at every aspect of where you have to have trust and how easily that can be broken. And then what do you do to rebuild that? I mean, it's not an easy road.
Right.
It's something that I deal with a lot with my patients that, you know, how do I rebuild this trust, or how do I do this, especially in a marriage setting where that's occurred, and trying to rebuild that and determining if it can be rebuilt.
Yeah.
So things that we've experienced are things like finding out that a friend shared something with others that we told them in confidence. That happens.
Sure.
Especially in small towns.
Oh, yeah.
Gossip central. But, you know, you told somebody in confidence and you find out that they shared something, it's really going to be hard for you to trust that friend again.
Yeah, ever.
Exactly. You may have had an experience with a coworker taking credit for your idea, or consistently trying to make you look bad.
Oh, yeah.
It happens all the time.
Sure.
You may have had an experience of an unreliable parent growing up. You may have had a teenager that snuck out of the house. You may have had a spouse lie to you or cheat. You may also have been the person that broke the trust with a loved one. Right. So it's not just being, you know, the one that maybe had you know, was on the receiving end, but possibly the giving end of that.
Sure.
So, I mean, that's not to say everybody's perfect. You know, we all make mistakes. But there's a lot of things that can happen when we look at trust and we look at ways that can be broken. That's just a little snapshot of some different things. But if these relationships are important to us, we want to find a way to rebuild that trust. The relationship may not be important to you, so you may be like, okay, I'm just going to close that door and walk away. That can happen too. Okay, you have to decide if it's an important relationship for you or not. More than likely, a relationship with your child is important.
Yes.
So if they snuck out of the house, or if they lied to you, or if they did something that they shouldn't have, and you have to rebuild that trust, you know, that's important. But you have to determine how you're going to do that with your kid. You have to decide if a marriage relationship or an intimate relationship is important for you. If that trust is broken, and how do you rebuild that? Okay. And again, friends, coworkers, are these things that you feel like you can rebuild or not? So what do you do if you want to rebuild a relationship with someone again after they have broken that trust? All right, first off, try to understand why the other person chose to do the thing or things that hurt you. Understanding what they were going through at the time may give you some answers you need and help you to connect with them in a deeper way. So, we talk about you don't really know until you've walked in their shoes, or things like that. I mean, that's not an excuse, but you may not know exactly what was going through their mind or what was going on with them as to why. So try to understand that. I'm not saying that's an excuse. It's just, hey, just take a minute to step back and see if you can understand why they might have thought to do that.
Right.
Okay? Be open and honest with communication. Let them know how you feel, why you are feeling hurt, and what you need in order to trust them again. Okay? That's huge. Communication is key to everything. All right. So you've got to let them know how you feel about it, why you feel hurt. You can't just sweep it under the rug and be like, oh, they're going to know that I'm hurt just because I give them the silent treatment. They're going to know that I'm hurt just because I get distant for 6 days or something. They're going to know, and they're going to know that they need to fix it. No, there's none of us that are psychics good enough to really know all of that. So there may be psychics out there that do, but however, typically you're not going to know, so you've got to communicate that. All right. You also need to express what you need in order to trust them again. All right. Practice forgiveness. This may take a while. In order to improve the relationship, you must be able to forgive them and yourself if you're taking on some of the blame. Forgiveness is huge. It's like, okay, do I forgive and forget, to forgive or but if you hold on to that pain and that bitterness and the blackness, so to speak, if you want to think about it metaphorically, then there's always going to be this little bit of anger going on, this little bit of I can't let you go, that little bit of history lesson bringing up when you have another fight, or disagreement, and well, remember when you did this? I mean, you've got to forgive and you've got to let it go. I mean, if you want to truly rebuild that relationship, you have to let it go.
Yeah.
Okay? Just kind of like, from Frozen. I'm not going to break out in song today. But, I mean, truly, you have to. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to rebuild trust with that person because it's always going to be there. That doesn't mean forgive and forget. You're not going to forget. You're human. Okay? You're not going to forget. But you do need to say, okay, I forgive and I'm going to let this go and move on and not live in the past. Remember that it is okay to not continue the relationship or work to get it back to the place it once was. Okay? There may come a time that, trust has been broken so many times. Trust is not able to be rebuilt. There's no way you can ever trust that person again and you say, you know what, I don't see us ever getting past this. And I think it's time to end this relationship. That does happen.
Sure.
And you have to give yourself permission to close that door, if you feel like that. That doesn't mean don't try, okay? I mean, if it's a relationship worth saving and worth trying, you try. You work through it, you try. But truly, there may come a point that you may not be able to continue that relationship, and just realize that it's okay. It's okay to do that as well. So let's turn the table for a second. What can you do if you're the one that betrayed a loved one's trust? Okay, so what if you're the one that lied, or you're the one that hurt the other individual by cheating or doing something like that? All right, you can help rebuild that trust too. Be honest in your communication. You see a key here? Honesty. Yeah. All right, honesty is important. It doesn't matter. I tell my patients all the time, I can deal with anything and I can help you through anything as long as it's the truth.
Yeah.
Because if you're not honest and you're not forthcoming, then I can't help you.
Right.
I mean, we're just practicing or putting a facade on,
Sure.
we're just whatever. I mean, it doesn't work unless you're honest. Okay, so just like it doesn't work to forgive, to get past something and trust if you're not 100% honest. Meaning, don't leave out the bad parts just because you don't want to talk about them. Just, kind of gloss over, this is what happened, this is why. Right. No, get down to the nitty gritty as to all of that. You need to get to the reason why you chose to lie or cheat. I don't know. Those 3 words won't help restore a relationship. Okay? I don't know. How many times have we heard that? I don't know is a famous go-to. It's actually one of my famous go-tos. But anyway, I get told all the time, would you stop saying I don't know? And it is often a cop-out because I don't want to talk, or it's, that's every once in a while, I really don't know. But, I mean, don't use that. Really get down to it, because there is a reason, okay? Take responsibility for what you did. Don't justify or defend your behavior. You did it. There's nothing to justify. There's nothing to defend. If you're getting defensive, you're not working through it.
Right.
Be honest. Don't justify. Take responsibility. Show that you are making changes. Be transparent. No more lies or secrets. The phone. The phone is a huge thing in relationships with kids, relationships with friends, relationships with intimate partners. If that trust has been broken and you want to still keep it all a secret, don't you think, even though you may not be doing anything, that person's going to be like, well, I wonder what they have to hide.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, I mean, everybody's different, and you kind of have to navigate your own relationship to determine what's the best. But no more lies or secrets. Everything needs to be transparent. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm going. Hey, this is what, whatever. Until that trust is rebuilt. Right. And then at a time, maybe once that trust is rebuilt, you can stop backing off on some of that. If you are having a hard time, well, I forgot something. So give the other person time. Depending on what happened, it may take a while to rebuild that trust. Okay, so again, time is of the essence. If you're having a hard time understanding your own actions or changing your behavior, it's always important to seek counseling and know that's an option too. I am really stumbling over my words. But be aware that you can change your behaviors, you can seek counseling, you can get help, get marriage counseling, get couples counseling, get family counseling with your kids, whatever you need to do to help rebuild that trust. It's out there. Trust is such a huge thing, and without trust, relationships are never going to be at the full potential that they can be.
Right. Okay,
you're always going to have somebody on the outside. You're always going to have somebody that further distance. So just be aware. I mean, trust is huge. Trust is important, and trust can be rebuilt. It takes time, guys. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be like, oh, yay, I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to wake up, and they're going to trust me 100%. Or I'm going to trust them.
Nothing like as fast as it went down.
Yes.
Yeah.
It takes longer to rebuild it than it does to lose it. Absolutely. Yep. So anyway, just look at that, and remember, next week we're going to be talking about Valentine's Day and looking at, some different aspects of it. Maybe not the lovey-dovey part, but maybe those that might not be going through that. So this is for you as well. And anything that we can do at Hope Counseling, we're trying to be back in the office today. We're dealing with some plumbing issues, different people, but that's to be expected. But we are there. We're answering the phones, so 325-356-1105 if we can do anything for you. Again, at Hope Counseling in Texas, with offices in Comanche, Hamilton, Dublin, and Eastland. Taking new patients all the time. So again, just let us know if we can help you. 325-356-1105, and I will see you next week on Valentine's Day.
All right, Cynthia Newton, thanks so much for stopping in.
Thank you.
He did pretty good.
Yeah.
Started struggling at the end a little.
Yeah.